The Hamish and Andy Show podcast. Powered by Amy. Lucky you're with Amy.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, it's been a hard day on the tools. Lads haven't even had a chance to talk about
food mascots.
At school, we've been learning a lot of pointless dribble. Finally, I get to learn about
Food mascots.
It's been a hard day being Kerry Ann Kennelly too, and thank God it's 3 o'clock and I can concentrate on one thing.
That one thing is food mascots, Kerry. Yeah.
Thank you, Hamish and Andy's happy hour.
Thank you. It's Hamish and Andy here. Good afternoon, everyone. The happy hour is upon us. This is the show, Ham. We do one topic per day. Food mascots is who we're concentrating on today.
What a great topic. Days like this where I say to the supercomputer who picks the topics, thank you, supercomputer. Finally, you've picked a topic of which I almost could have a PhD in.
2 questions for you then, Professor.
Yeah.
First one is the Colonel a mascot?
Yes, he is.
Really?
I would contend that he's a mascot.
Even though he made it himself and...
Well, he's a man. He's a real man,
Yeah.
but he's more...
with mascot tendencies.
He's made the jump into the mascot world.
Yeah.
He's often animated.
Yeah.
At some KFCs, you can see a guy in a suit pretending to be the Colonel. He's made of foam.
Yeah.
And if you're made of foam, you're a mascot, even if you're a human mascot.
The second question for
Because
you
is Mr. Antenna a mascot? Yes.
Yes, because he didn't found the company and run around
Yes, he
dressed as a
did.
fake superhero.
He did.
All right, second question for you then. Are you more likely to buy a food
Yep.
if the mascot's smiling or laughing?
Smiling is good.
Yeah.
And let's
What
just
if
take a
that-
moment here, because we're going to focus on a lot of famous mascots today. We've got your Paddle Pop Lions,
Yeah.
the McDonald's family gets a run. But let's take a moment to focus on food mascots of small chains. I'm talking chicken stores that have a chicken out the front with an apron on, basting another chicken that's cooking without the obvious cannibalistic overtones. Maybe it's a fish and chip shop.
And
where
they're always smiling or
smiling
laughing.
fish, laughing at you, going, eat us. Maybe it's a butcher's with a fat pig in an apron.
When you think about those ones, I reckon if they're laughing, it looks like they're maniacal.
Seems a bit
or
crazy.
they've gone mental.
Seems a bit crazy because they're saying, eat me, eat me. But those guys, they're great mascots because they're just the generic mascot. Even fruit is sometimes a food mascot. Sometimes you see a laughing banana just being like, eat more bananas.
Hey,
The big banana is kind of a food mascot.
We've got so much to get through the next hour or so. So much correspondence, hamishandy.com/topics. Even our own mascot.
We're going to talk to a real-life food mascot. And we've had contact made by Happy Lassie Tiffany.
Lovely.
She is a real-life food mascot. Sadly, not a Paddle Pop Lion, not someone inside a suit, but someone's part of a mascot team.
Right.
And they're
So
a modern-day mascot. Probably
which I like
one
better,
of the
to be
latest. Yeah, one of the latest additions to the food mascot ranks.
She's not after individual glory.
Nope.
She's just happy being part of the team, getting the job done. What food is it?
She is one of the Cadbury Joyful actors that you see on the ad.
Very
and she
new.
Also goes around to different workplaces and stuff. We'll get her to explain slightly better. Tiffany, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are you guys?
Oh, you sound joyful.
Yeah, very
You sound
joyful.
exactly like the kind of person I'd meet in Joyville. Now, are you on the ad, Tiffany, or are you sort of more like a freelance Joyville citizen?
I was on a couple of ads when the competition was still running, but I'm not on the current ads.
What was
so
your
I'm more
job?
of a
Hey, what was the
freelance.
competition?
The competition was for people who obviously eat Cadbury chocolate. They could write into Cadbury and tell them what brings them joy. And then what they won was that made into a chocolate sculpture. And then we went around and delivered them to the people who won.
So you
the
know,
Cadbury-
if you said Mars bar, you know you're probably not going to win.
But obviously, if they're chocolate lovers, they might just say Cadbury chocolate, in which case...
Yeah.
We'll make a sculpture. I hope we get it right.
What's the backstory for these guys from Joyful? For people who don't see it, are you guys kind of like human Oompa Loompas? They all
Meant to look a bit Wonka-esque, isn't it? It has overtones of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And so are you meant to be from the factory?
Yeah, so we're the Joyville workers. So I guess we're supposed to be the people who make the chocolate and live in this magical chocolate world.
And so you meant to be very, very small? Are we meant to think that you
No,
are...
no, I don't think
No,
so.
because I think on the ad, they're like tipping things into blocks of chocolate. So
Yeah.
so you'd be tiny to scale.
I think on the more current ads, they do look really tiny.
I think they're about the size of a bull ant.
Well, the ads I saw, they were regular size.
No, I mean, they're real
Yeah.
people ant. I mean, they haven't got shrunken people.
I know that, but they were They were just doing regular factory.
I reckon
things.
I've seen a current ad where they're tipping junk into a chocolate block, and it looks like two king-size beds to them.
Oh, wow.
So it
Tiffany,
looks
how
huge.
big are you meant to be?
Well, I'm actually only the size of a bull ant. No, no, they gave me normal size clothes. We interacted with normal size people, so I think we were
I know they're using real people. I'm just saying, I assume there's some sort of camera trickery used in the making of the ads because that's not the real Cadbury factory.
Tiffany.
If we can start from there.
Question without notice, but Haim and I have met a number of people that have had this certain mascot roles at Movie World. For instance, Marilyn Monroe
tough one.
she's probably a mascot of all movies, certainly at Movie World. She has to keep character the whole time.
Yeah, she gets sacked.
Is this true of the Joyful characters?
Yeah, we did. So we had, it was all very impromptu. It wasn't like a normal commercial where they can do take after take after take. So we'd go and we'd bring the people what was supposed to be like a moment of pure joy. So we'd turn up on their doorstep with marching bands and all sorts of things.
Yep.
And
you had to do it before the shrinking ray wore off.
Yeah, of course.
Went back to
it was all really quick.
Before you went back to regular size. No, I understand.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that interests me is when you're a part of Joyville, part of the Cadbury clan, there's obviously natural rivalries that pop up. We mentioned the Mars Corporation. Nestle, I assume, would be a big one. If I had to pick a representative of the Nestle family, whilst they do great stuff with aero bars, etc., I'd probably say it's the Nesquik bunny would be their mascot. What happens if you're at an event, you're there, say there's 10 Joyville members, Nesquik bunny rocks up, he's mouthing off, talking about how Nestle is better than Cadbury.
Yeah. Milky Bar kid by his side.
Yeah, are the Joyville actors allowed to just stick up for Cadbury and get in a fight with them? Or do you have to kill them with kindness?
I think it's more kill them with kindness, stay very well behaved, but it's
because that
Cadbury,
Nesquik
so
rabbit is a maniac. Sometimes I think he's drunk. Have you seen him on the ads? Like he's hopping around everywhere.
Yes.
I'm lucky I haven't come in contact with him, but
watch out.
I think I'd be very professional.
Watch out for Ovaltinis too. They're often on skateboards or doing extreme sport.
Yeah, I know, they're really quick.
Thanks, Tiffany, for joining us. Really appreciate
No
it.
worries. Thank you so much for having me.
It's the happy hour.
What a wonderful topic. Food mascots, the very colourful, often cartoon, usually creepy characters used to sell us foods,
Hey, who was the
sometimes of which they have absolutely no correlation to.
who was the 7-Up guy?
Fido Dido.
He was big for a while, wasn't he?
Just for that ad, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think he was a separate cartoon. It was sort of like he did an endorsement.
A cartoon
It'd be
didn't
like,
exhaust
be
him.
like Mickey Mouse drinking Fanta and going, man, I love that sweet orange pop.
Anyway, so much correspondence, Sam. Time for Fast Biz. Top three emails.
Top three. Number three.
This one came in from Happy Chappy Dan Ham. He just says, I'm glad they managed to change up Ronald McDonald.
From what?
I've got it here.
Great.
And I think this is terrific. The original concept of Ronald McDonald. This is the first one in 1969.
Horrible.
Have a look at that. Best describe it to our listeners.
It's a serial killer. That man is right now on a watch list everywhere. Cup for a nose. That's the weird bit, isn't it? Makes him look like a pig. He's got a shake cup for a nose. He's got a bib, and then the smile part of his face
is almost his whole face.
It's very Joker, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say it's as menacing, if not more menacing, than the recent portrayal of the Joker in the Batman films. What I didn't realise is he's got a hat.
Giant box for a hat. What is that?
I don't know.
He's wearing a cube on his head.
Yes.
Which all children are praying will slip down and obscure his face so they don't have to be tormented anymore.
Number two.
And while we're on fast food chains,
Yeah.
I've often wondered aloud and to myself, we've got Hungry Jack's / Burger King here in Australia.
Yeah, we do.
And I've often thought, was there ever a Hungry Jack? Did they try and combat the Colonel and Ronald McDonald with a Hungry Jack? They didn't, but there was a Burger King.
Right, so
Now,
the king of all burgers.
The king of all burgers, the original one, much like the picture you just showed me in the 60s, little cartoon drawing of a king sitting on a Whopper with a drink. So he's a tiny king. He's a miniature king, small enough to sit on a Whopper. Then when he became real, listen to this. In the 70s, they really hit a moment where I think they went, we're going to take on McDonald's. The Burger King became the marvelous, magical Burger King. He was a red-bearded Tudor-era king who ruled the Burger King kingdom.
Okay.
So again, they've gone redhead, much like Ronald. But he performed magic tricks, so more of a wizard. The king was accompanied by usually 2 or more children and notable characters such as Sir Shake-a-Lot, who was a knight that had a craving for milkshakes. No, none of these have lasted. Sir Shake-a-Lot and the Burger Thing, which was sort of like a crazy hamburger like the Thing from Fantastic Four. And the Duke of Doubt, who often doubted the king's abilities.
What?
And
What was his role?
So the Duke of Doubt would often go, would probably say things like, I bet you can't summon up a lot of food with your ring. The Duke of Doubt I would think, after several ads go, I have to rename myself because the king keeps beating me. Probably the weirdest one in the whole kingdom was the Wizard of Fries, who was a robot who produced fries for the king.
See, they're just a mismatch of individuals, that whole thing.
Since then, Burger King has centered on more of a food-centric marketing campaign than this weird band of magicians.
Number 1.
I'm happy chappy Chester McGiggles writes in. Actually, Lassie, it says. I thought Chester would have been...
That's fine. Chesters can be lassies.
Would have been a guy, but no, a female. I miss Mayor McCheese.
Sure. No one misses the Duke of Doubt.
No, no one at all. I miss Mayor McCheese and Officer Big Mac.
Yep.
From Macca's.
He was the police officer that would often
catch
the Hamburglar, put him in jail.
But was a giant Big Mac. That's what was strange sometimes about the mascot situation. You have the Hamburglar who's a human wanting for human things, as in a burger.
He wants to eat a burger. Then a giant burger arrests him. Poetic justice.
Today the topic is food mascots, but I did just want some license to go off
sure.
topic.
Just once.
Only because I've got a date this afternoon.
Thought you might.
You didn't?
Hey, wearing around a velvet suit. Got a lot of hair gel in. Got your Superman promotional cologne on. That was promotional cologne, Ender. That was just a gimmick to make us get into the film. You don't have to wear the whole bottle. I don't even know if it's real cologne. It might just be coloured water. But I saw you undoing the prizing off the spray top and pouring it all over your head. It's made your moose run. So good luck.
Thank you.
Afternoon date, not a nighttime date.
No, afternoon date.
Keeping it cash. Well, I mean, she's got to go on DJ. Is it DJ Havana Brown?
It's not, and so
commiserations.
Once you get all this out of your system.
Oh, I've got hours. No, commiserations. What is she a DJ?
No, she's not a DJ.
Because is it too hurtful for you to date a DJ?
No,
because you're reminded that it's not DJ Havana Brown.
As I've said to you before, I've never been interested.
Okay.
Think she's lovely, but never been interested in DJ Havana Brown.
And denial is the first step of eventual acceptance.
And I've never worn a Superman cologne, if we want to put that on the table.
So you're not dating a DJ because it's too close to the bone?
No, I'm just not going to date with a DJ.
Interesting that of all the people, all the professions to not date, you've chosen not a DJ.
She's actually not a lot of other professions. She's not a vet.
Yep, neither is DJ Havana Brown. Well.
Here's my question for you, and I was hoping for a serious answer.
I'm right in the zone for serious.
Yeah. I only had her first name. Met on the weekend, exchanged numbers, only had her first name.
Yeah.
Then we decided to catch up. She said, do you want to have a coffee tomorrow? This was yesterday.
Yep.
I went, yeah, no problems.
You don't drink coffee, you only do a hot chocolate. That's okay.
Yeah,
Lucky you're wearing all that cologne. You'll project a strengthful persona.
I said, yeah, sure. By the way, just had her in the phone as Kate. And I said, by the way, Kate, what's your surname? So I could put it on my phone.
That's okay.
She said, you're just going to Google me.
Yep. She doesn't want you to stalk her.
Which I wasn't.
Which you were.
No, I wasn't. I was actually just putting my phone because you know that my phone is very much...
I know that you like having first name, last name.
Yeah.
I also know that you very much enjoy... The internet enjoys first name, last name. Facebook has a first name, last name ranking system.
Wouldn't have been on my mind, Ham, but then it was after she said that.
Yeah.
So I wrote back, actually, wasn't thinking about that, but will now. She said, I don't want you to Google me. And I said...
Middleton. Did she look to be heavily pregnant?
I said, well, surely, no. Like, yeah, sure, just send it through. No, she said, I don't want you to see what you might find.
She could be a criminal, ain't that?
Well, maybe
you have to do what you're doing when you are camping.
Yeah, what's that?
Where you go and tell the police what you're doing. Go to a police station and just say, listen, my name's Andy. I'm going for a coffee around the corner. It's with a girl that won't give me a second name. Yeah. If I don't come back in an hour, I want you to check up on me.
Yeah, they come around to the cafe?
Yeah, we'll take a flare gun or something. Do you want me to park outside? And if you shoot the flare gun in the cafe, I'll know to come in and rescue you. She won't know. She'll just go, that's a bit of a weird thing to do. Then I run in as a paramedic and I yell, quick, is anyone here tall? Because you are tall. Okay. There's a sick man up a tree. I need your help. And you walk out with me. We high five and we go, we've done it again. No one suspects a thing.
Yes, I do. Are you free this summer?
I certainly am.
Hello, podcaster. When you get a chance, jump into hamishandandy.com/topics and send us an email. It's how we make this show.
A lot of people throwing shout-outs to a couple of mascots in particular. Chester Cheeto from Cheetos. He's quite a popular mascot. He does a lot of crazy things. He loves eating Cheetos.
And his sunglasses went out of fashion, then back into fashion now.
The Ray-Bans, He really knew how to nail a trend there. He also wears shoes, seems to not wear pants.
Yeah.
But again, under the cartoon rule of you don't need to wear pants, forgiven. Also, Toucan Sam, the Fruit Loops toucan. He's a lot of fun.
He doesn't speak all that much, does he?
Well, I mean, he seems to be speaking on the box.
Does a lot of winking.
I think we see him speak maybe back in the day in ads.
Yep.
Things like that. Here's one you may not have heard of, but we recently heard of him. We really feel like he hasn't been allocated an exciting food like Cheetos or Fruit Loops. Christopher Quinoa.
That's right.
He's probably not on the more exciting end of the spectrum.
Well, quinoa is the most boring food in the world.
Some have said.
I would say.
Some have said. Yeah. It's not a lot of kids are just running home punching the air if quinoa's for dinner. And look, your special angel might be different, but I would just say that's a fair generalisation to make. But still.
Do people even know what quinoa is?
No one really knows what quinoa is. We just know it's meant to be good for you.
It's a fad as well.
It's just a thing that's great for you, and sometimes my mum puts it in as like a salad with a pomegranate seed. It's never very exciting to eat.
So what's this mascot?
Well, the thing is, when Christopher Quinoa, obviously he's not an exciting mascot, food mascot, but he still has to hang out with other mascots like Chester Cheeto and Toucan Sam, and it can be difficult for him.
Hey, Christopher! Toucan Sam says, let's party!
Oh, Christopher Quinoa says, no thanks.
Chester Cheeto says, let's surf, man! I'm slamming a few bags of Cheetos and I'm riding bodacious waves all day long!
Oh, just, pass.
Come on, Christopher. I mean, it's a radical day.
Oh, well, it might be for you because you're all hopped up on sugars. Sorry, Christopher Quinoa. Don't hang out with things that are artificially flavoured.
I don't think Toucan Sam is artificially flavoured. I think I might be.
Well, my point is I'm a superfood, so I don't hang out with cheap gimmicks.
I'm not a gimmick, mate. I'm a toucan. I'm probably one of the most expensive birds on Earth. Yeah, and I'm a talking cheetah who survives on nothing but cheese corn snacks. That's pretty impressive. What even are you, Christopher? Yeah, are you like a bean?
No, I'm sort of a grain.
No, Toucan Sam says you can't be a grain because you're in health food shops as a grain alternative. So what are you? Yeah, you talking bean? What are you?
No, I'm not a bean. I'm sort of a ricey thing, sort of a seed.
Doesn't even know what he is. I bet he doesn't even have a catchphrase like we do.
I do have a catchphrase. It just doesn't have bells and whistles.
What is it?
That's it. My catchphrase is, I do have a catchphrase. It just doesn't have bells and whistles.
You're the worst guy I've ever met. I can't believe I almost went surfing with you.
Well, you guys have turned pretty nasty pretty quickly.
Yeah, they don't show this side of us on the ads. We can be extremely judgmental. See ya.
Bye.
Today the topic is food mascots. And Haim, the most amazing emails coming. We need to settle it now. I think it's not amazing. The subject matter maybe not to be amazing. What this fellow has done, I think's amazing.
Well, here's the thing: our show's only a few months old. This predates the show.
Yeah, this concept from him, this journey he's on, dates back, I think, close to 2 or 3 years.
Incredible.
He joins us now. Happy chappy Callum, thank you for joining us, mate.
Hey, boys, how you going?
Yeah, really well. Talk us through the situation involving a food mascot.
Right, so a few years ago I was working at just a video store. I was the manager of a small video store. And one night this girl came in and she was asking if we had any paddle pop line movies, which just, from my memory, don't exist. So I was a bit confused why she wanted one.
Yeah, tough. Paddle Pop Line, I actually saw a film that they released, but it was a promotional, sort of a kids' film. I gotta say, low on storyline, low on plot development.
Yeah.
Bit farcical. There's better films you can watch.
So yeah, and then she was just really keen to get her hands on some Paddle Pop Line merch. Like, she was asking if we had posters. She was even asking if we just had like product stickers that we put on the ice cream fridges so she could have them. And so eventually I said to her, look, no, we don't have any of that. Why are you chasing it? And she said, oh, because the Paddle Pop Line is my nickname.
Oh.
I said, why? And she said, well, because, I look like the Paddle Pop Lion. And she said that, and I looked up, and she did have a very, very striking resemblance to the lion.
What was it? Her furry face, her wide, wet snout, her whiskers?
No, what is... See, obviously, for a female to have... I mean,
I'd assume it's her hair.
I'd be assuming large mane-like hair.
And maybe big eyes, big brown eyes.
Large eyes, and then a predominant nose, you would say.
It was like, she was very sort of like freckly faced, and she had this big sort of light brunette hair with sort of like blonde streaks going through. So it almost was sort of like
caramel chunks.
This mane of hair, yeah.
So Callum, where did it finish up?
So she eventually said to me, she said, look, I just really want to get my hands on some Paddle Pop Line merch, so I'm going to give you my name and my number and just call me if you ever get anything in. And obviously nothing ever came in, and this was about 2 or 3 years ago. And I've had the number sitting in my wallet ever since, just taunting me. 'Cause, it sort of seems like a waste of something as great as a girl's phone number.
Yeah, but Callum, were you interested in dating her or anything like that? Or was this just out of the kindness of your heart you would like to make sure she gets Paddle Pop Line merchandise?
Because every time sort of like the ice cream supply came in, I was always asking, because I really just wanted to get something to her, because she loved the fact that she looked like the lion.
Yeah, right.
Good on her for embracing it. I used to do the same thing when I was a kid, walking around to video stores asking for Harrison Ford posters. Got Harrison Ford's eyes. I didn't even usually need to finish the sentence, and Video Easy was handing over reams of Air Force One posters.
Well, Callum, we've managed to chat to Streets. They're going to send out some Paddle Pop Line posters to the girl. If you can get
They answered and they said, is this something to do with Chad Kroger from Nickelback? We went, no, it's another Paddle Pop Line lookalike.
If you can get onto her and tell her. So you've got the number, you've given that to us.
I do, yep.
Do you have feelings for this girl at all, Callum? I mean, did something stir inside you when you met the lion?
Not really, no. She was just a customer that,
Good on you.
Obviously, you can
famous lion.
You can appreciate it would have been a better story if you did, but this is still a very good story.
No, I almost think this is better because you're hanging on to
That's true. This is not...
the number of a
you're
girl
doing it out of the good of your heart.
Yeah.
It's not driven by any sort of selfish romantic need.
What was her name? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was Isabel, and I only remember that because she had written it down with the number.
All right. Let's call her now and tell her.
This is going to be so weird.
Some 3 years on. Okay, Callum, we're going to pretend we're not here. You can just pick up the call. Good luck out there.
Right. Thanks.
Hello, Isabel speaking.
Hey, is that Isabel?
Yes.
Yep. Hey, my name's Callum. I used to work at Civic Video Cooper. I don't know if you remember coming in at all.
The one that's like further up the road?
Yeah, that's the one.
That was
anyway,
further up the road from the Cabs Road.
Yeah, so the reason I'm calling is, I don't know if you remember coming in and you asked me if you could get your hands on some Paddle Pop Line merchandise because it was your nickname.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
I've managed to track down some items with you with a few help from a couple of my friends, and they've managed to get you some Paddle Pop Line merch. I know it's a bit of a call out of the blue. That was a few years ago.
Yeah, that was ages ago.
Well, yeah, so we've managed to get you some.
Down at Civic Video.
Well, no, it won't be at Civic Video. It's Hamish and Andy here as well.
Hi, Isabel.
Hi, Isabel.
It's coming from overseas, I think, the poster.
Did you still want it, Isabel?
Yes, please. I would love that.
Do you still look like the Paddle Pop Lion, in your opinion?
Yeah, I used to get nicknamed that at work. It kind of became just the name that everyone called me on the run sheet.
Do you find it bizarre that Callum still had your number and wanted to do this journey in this lovely thing for you 2 years on?
I think I'm really grateful, to be honest. That's lovely.
Well, hopefully you didn't track down any posters. It feels like you might have been going to every business in the area.
I'm trying to picture him, but I can't remember. It was a long time ago, and I thought that video shop was closed.
He wears a cowboy hat and he has a bubblegum nose. And his real name's Bill.
Sounds like
I don't bear a resemblance.
Well, Callum, thank you so much for doing that.
What a great misconnection.
What a great
2 years
misconnection.
on.
2 years
Does
on.
he really have the paddle pop stuff?
Yes,
Isabel, you're going to get it.
We've contacted Streets, and Streets are going to get them out as many posts as possible.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much. That's so lovely of you.
Yeah, well, it's lovely of Callum. Now we're getting thanks for doing
you so
very
much,
little.
Callum.
Callum, thanks very much, mate.
Thanks, boys. Good job done.
Hey, what, are you still at Civic Video or...
No, it's closed down, actually.
Yeah,
what a shame. With customer service like that.
I know,
Man, you can't get that.
That's all we've got time for, actually, this happy hour, Ham.
Oh, what a happy ending.
What
a happy hour.
What a brilliant ending. HamishDaddy.com. Make sure you get there. /topics is where all the topics are going up, and you can contribute, and you can make poster dreams come true like Callum just did. We'll catch you soon.
Have a good one.
That was the Hamish and Andy Show podcast, powered by Amy. Lucky you're with Amy.